Hello, this is the NICU Lived Network, and we are your hosts. I'm Melinda.
I'm Nat. And I'm Emma. We are all NICU mothers using our lived experience to partner with health professionals to impact research, advocacy, and clinical practice.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
Well, hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Nat. Hi, Em. We are back.
For another 2026.
It is 2026, our very, very first episode. And we've got some really exciting things that we want to do this year, some new things. And one of the things that I will mention that people in the past were, finding us on YouTube and all of social media, but from this year we'll also be have every episode available on Spotify, which is absolutely fantastic. So a new place to find us. So we are kicking off this year with a really, really special episode. We have Dad Chris Wood with us. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Nice to have you. It's so special for us to be able to speak to a dad. As you know, you're looking at three mums that have gone through a NICU experience. But yeah, and we always get asked, how can we better support dads? How do we better hear from them? So really, really looking forward to talking to you. So a little bit about Chris. He is a NICU dad and he's a bereaved parent. And he also does a little bit of work with Red Nose. So we'll be able to hear about that.
Perfect. All right. So I know that Mel was just kind of given a bit of a really top level of you, Chris. But can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your story and journey?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Any chance that I get to say my son's name is like gold. So the thing that I'm most proud of is that I'm a husband and bereaved father. Grew up in Sydney in the inner west. My wife's from Yamba, which is in northern New South Wales. We moved up to Queensland almost 11 years ago, and we've had multiple pregnancy losses, a long journey getting pregnant and all the rest of it. And our son Liam was a neonatal death in 2022, which was a twin pregnancy. So yeah, we lost both.
So
yeah, there's no words, but yeah. What do you say?
And tell us a little bit about the journey from that, and we can take it in steps, but to get to where you are today, to be a dad that wants to speak about the experience, like how has that happened? How's that evolved?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, I got after Liam was born and then died. My wife had a lot of care. A lot of care was directed at her, from a perinatal loss sort of point of view, and I didn't have much. Red Nose offer a service called Hospital to Home, where a support worker comes to your house, and help you navigate the first six sort of months, 3 to 4, 5, 6 months. And for me, that was the only support that I had. I was knocked back from 6 psychologists before I could get in to see one. And yeah, that second half of 2022 was incredibly frustrating for me. And I just thought enough, like I'm going to do what I can to bridge that gap. And yeah, I started a touch football team of bereaved dads in early 2023, and we're going on to our 7th season together at the start of next month, and we've got, out of the 9 guys in the team, we've got 5 new dads joining. So that's for me, that's really important, and it's something that I'm proud of.
Yeah. Do you get with the team? Is there an opportunity to connect and talk through and support each other? Do you think?
Yeah, it's very it's very casual, but we hang around after the game and have a beer in the car park and just talk about life. And a couple of the guys, their partners have gone on to have subsequent babies around a similar time, and seeing the connection that they have, and knowing that I was a key contributor in them having support, so like that support for themselves, just makes me really proud and honored, I guess, to be a part of it.
It's amazing that you've done that, but it's interesting to hear that you've done it, on the side without necessarily having support post, the hospital and things like that.
Like, don't get me wrong, like the hospital, Royal Brisbane were great while we were there, and one of our bereavement social workers I've got a good relationship with and good connection with now through working for Red Nose, and the staff in the NICU were amazing. And yeah, for me, I've got nothing but positive words to say about them, but it's kind of for the families that don't leave with their baby in their arms. It's a tough slog. A lot of the time it's just so overwhelming and so consuming that you don't know where to start looking for resources and things like that. And you're so consumed by your grief and everything that it's just it's a living nightmare.
Yeah. So what was missing that you would have needed at the time, looking back now?
Just someone, I guess, the same amount of resources to care that my wife had, I guess. And that's it's a very sort of how long's a piece of string type question. And look, to be honest, I don't know what the answer is, but it just seems pretty shit to me that the first psychologist that my wife contacted, it was a case of, I've got new patient slots available for situations like this, and then I contact 6 and can't get in. It just seems it seems baffling. And yeah, to be honest, I think a lot of guys would give up after 2 or 3, but I knew that I had to talk, and I feel like I owed it to my wife and to my son as well to keep persisting.
Yeah, that's really insightful. It's really interesting what you're saying, because like when we were at Miracle Babies, we were trying to build dad programs, but really not understanding, what dads needed. And when you were talking about the footy team, one of the things that we did was a golf day, because from talking to dads, it's not that direct, where mums to mums will have, that peer-to-peer, where we will sit down and actually talk about what happened and the journey, where the dads kind of, it's happened, it's like floating around, but we need to be around other dads that get it. But whether the golf's the distraction or the footy, it's like that buffer, that it's just not that so confronting to have that conversations where mums will sit around and talk. But it just gives you, I don't know, is that what you find? Like it's interesting that you've gone down that similar path.
Yeah, definitely.
To bring dads together.
With another dad, I started an in-person peer support group through Red Nose last year, and we didn't get anywhere near the amount of interest and traction in a support group type setting as we did, like going to going to the pub and having a steak and having a steak night and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm an emotional cat, so I need to talk, and I know I've made enough mistakes that I know that, you know, if I keep things bottled up, it's, you know, I'm a ticking time bomb. And to be honest, I owe it to my wife to keep turning up and, you know, staying on top of things and looking after myself mentally, because you can do the physical aspect. Like I love endurance sport and I love, you know, the physical side of things. But if my head's a mess, then everything's a mess.
And so, sorry, just so joining in with, what would be your advice to anybody that's, you know, a husband, father that's in your situation? What would you be your advice to them, you know, to manage through what you've just gone through?
Yeah, I would say to talk and to speak up. And I get that guys don't really know what to say, but a lot of the time and know how to express their emotions, but it's incredibly important. And yeah, in answer to your question, I would say speak, find someone, you know, find other for bereaved dads, for example, find other bereaved dads, you know, jump on Google and find support services that offer bereaved dad stuff, because there's nothing like now as opposed to 4 years ago. There's a hell of a lot more, and we're right. Like I feel like we're right at the start of a incredibly positive trajectory. But yeah, like Red Nose have a dad's like a men's line, dad's support line. There's peer support groups. But for me, there's not much more important than that peer support factor, that element, and that lived experience. But yeah, I derailed the conversation with the bereaved dad stuff. But yeah, sorry about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's interesting. I mean, even when I was in hospital with my son, it was always mum, and it was never dad.
Yeah.
So we first point of contact, probably because you're across everything and you're there all the time. And I know when we left hospital and my husband had gone through everything that I'd gone through, and it was all focused. So I was the one that got the social workers when we were in the hospital, and then my husband's trying to process it all. So I think it's hospitals are always asking for feedback from how they can support. So I think for us, it's really really interesting to see what resources would have been. Is it that connection piece? Is it connecting you with those resources? You know, and being able to talk to somebody. It's interesting to understand that from a dad's perspective.
Yeah, and I think having peer supporters in the hospital is massive. And for me, I went from basically being the third priority to, in a matter of seconds, being the decision maker. Beth, my wife, had a cord prolapse, and she lost just under 2 liters of blood. And Liam was very sick. It was 28 minutes from Beth hitting the panic button to him being born. And in the blink of an eye, I was the primary decision maker. And it was just, I don't know what to do. Like all of a sudden you're a fly, you know, you go from being a fly on the wall to everyone's directing their questions at me. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, you decide, you know, you're the doctor. Like, keep Liam alive, keep Beth alive. What more do you want? You know, what more do you want from me? And the like the noises and the sounds and everything, I couldn't keep up. But I was lucky enough to
process in one go.
Massive, super overwhelming. And Beth was in hospital for 6 weeks before Liam was born, and I had a couple of, like, I went down into the NICU a few times just to sort of wander around and try and wrap my head around it, what was coming for us. But you don't really know. You don't really know what's ahead until you're in that point, you know, making the decisions on the run, and yeah, super overwhelming.
Do you think there could have been more resources during that time when you're in hospital before for you to be able to, you know, deal with that situation that you were faced? I know that you don't know what's going to come through, but do you think there would have been more adequate resources to be able to support you and your wife at the same time?
Tough question. I guess there's yeah, definitely would help, but everyone was doing the best that they could. There's no denying that, but yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Tough question. Stump me.
That's all good. No, I'm sorry that you've, you know, been through all that, and it's very confronting, and the whole scenario with the NICUs and lights, noises, all the decisions you have to make. It's a big, it's a lot. I think
and it's just a situation no one wants to be in. I know, like, it's a situation no one chooses to be in, and you're not alone, Chris. No one knows what to do. They come at you with stats and choices, and, you know, if the baby's born at this week, and if we go down this way, and like I say that all the time, like, you're asking us to make decisions. You can't put that burden on us, and we're not the expert. We don't understand everything. I mean, you've described it incredibly. It's like putting us right there, in terms of how you're, you know.
To add to that, sorry to interrupt. The thing that I struggled with the most was the doctor talk, and if they could sort of simplify things. Like, I had a midwife that was kind of, she was not glued to me in a way, but she was just there if I had any questions, and I would go to her. And, you know, you've got the monitor and everything on the wall, and there's all these numbers and different lines and everything, and I had no clue what any of that meant. And I sort of said to her, I'm like, look, and at this point, you know, Beth was pretty incoherent because she'd you know, been butchered. I'm like, what do I need to look at? Like, what sort of numbers are important, like, are super important in terms of Liam's health? And she's like, focus on this one, and then focus on this one. And that just, when Beth came in that night out of recovery, and that I had that information to be able to relay to her, and it's like, these are the two numbers that we're looking at, you know. This is kind of, you know, that's what's super important. Because they talk at you in their clinical terms. It's like, mate, slow down. Like, I stopped listening 5 minutes ago.
And in the background, there are all these alarms and beeps going off as well. Are you not quite sure if that? There's a lot of PTSD there. Yeah.
Even talking about it now, you can hear it beeping in the background.
I can't remember what organisation it is. Maybe it's Running for Premature Babies, but on their on like one of their social media sort of ads, I could be wrong if it's them, but the ad starts with the sort of the breathing apparatus, and it just takes me right back every time I hear it. And it just sort of gives me chills. because you do it. I think we all can say that we do a good job of burying things, and then all of a sudden when they catch up, when you hear them, you're right back to that moment.
Yeah. And that's what happens with NICU parents. They're, like soldiers, and it's just day, keep going. And then at one point, it just does, it's like this wave hits you of everything that you've gone through. It's just so confronting and overwhelming. I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, actually, when you were saying about you just wanted definitive things. Can I look at the monitor? Can I do this? I'm just thinking for dads, when we have antenatal classes, and sometimes when the baby's born early, you don't even get to those classes. They're quite focused on, what mum's going to go through, what labour is going to look like and all of that. I just wonder if there's, I'm thinking off the top of my head, a better job that we could do in terms of where dads want different information. They want to know that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's more organised, or these are the sounds, these are what, we look for. This is SATs, this is oxygen, this is, I don't know. I was just thinking, is there a way that we can prepare dads differently to how we would be preparing mum? And I don't think we do anything to prepare dads for the fact that mums might not be well. We have spoken to so many mums. We have a beautiful mum, Rachel, in our network who was so sick and nearly lost her during delivery. We don't have that conversation with dads. Do you know what I mean? It's all if it's going to go well kind of thing. I'm just thinking internatally, how could we prepare dads better who want more of that kind of education and that kind of knowledge?
So we signed a waiver at 25 weeks saying when Liam's born, depending on his health, administer as much care as possible. And he was born at 30+3, and I got a call from Beth's phone, but it was a young midwife, and she, I could feel the tension in her voice. And anyway, long story short, I was at the hospital within 15 minutes, and I was pacing up and down in the hallway of recovery, waiting for something, waiting for news, waiting. This lady couldn't really give me an answer if Liam was alive and if Beth was going to survive. Cord prolapses are pretty hectic, as I'm sure everyone knows that's had them. And so I got to the hospital, and I was pacing up and down the hallway, and this midwife came out. She's like, "Oh, is there anything that that I can do for you?" I'm like, "Nah, I just want my wife and my baby." And I lost track of where I was going with this, but there was nothing. There was minimal communication, and he was. Oh, that's right. So, Dr. Liam's been born. Beth's in recovery, getting stitched up and everything. And this doctor takes me into a consultation room, and she's like, "Look, if Liam can make it through the night, then it will be a good result." They had to bring him back 4 times in the first hour, and this is probably he was born at 7:30, and this is probably about just before 9 o'clock that I'm talking to this doctor, and she's like, "We need to know what level of care do you want us to administer over the next 6 or so hours?" I'm like, fuck, why are we having this conversation? Why are we here? What was the whole point in signing a waiver if you're gonna, that's not gonna be transferred across systems that you've got the information, or there's, why are we here having this conversation? So I was fuming. I was ropeable. And I said some things that I weren't my best choices of words, and I apologized to this doctor the following night. But yeah, it's things like that that shit me, to be honest. And yeah, anyway, another example where like the communication's just not where it should be.
Yeah. And one of the things that you mentioned was that you would have wanted that peer-to-peer support in hospital. And I know, like from experience, that's been tried to have dads be part of peer-to-peer support. But even how you mentioned with Red Nose, where you've tried to form a dad's group and the uptake isn't there as much as you thought it might be. Like it does seem like there's that need, and yet it doesn't seem to be it doesn't translate. Like it doesn't seem to be able to be something that we can actually have happen in the NICUs. But I find that really interesting. Honest, the need's there. It just doesn't seem to work the same with dads.
I feel like this is probably, this type of thing is on men in general, I think, because mums and I think women in general are much better at supporting each other. You know, you've got like mums groups, and women just do it better. Like, you know, for an example, Beth's friends are a lot more vocal and supportive of her, and especially in the first 6 to 12 months after Liam died, they're a lot better for her than what my mates were. And it's not I'm not trying to put any crap on them. It's just, I think it's a society sort of thing where men need to be better at supporting each other. And you know, you can blame the, you know, the system and the resources aren't there, and everything like that, but it's on men to support their mates. Like, be there for your mate. Like, you don't have to have walked in my shoes to be able to sit and listen to someone, you know, and be present in a conversation.
Yeah. While we've got you, I think like we can just learn so much from you. So we work primarily now in the space of like research, advocacy and clinical practice improvement. So we're part of different trials, we're part of focus groups, we're part of lived experience committees, all about not necessarily that parent-to-parent support side, but more about using our experience and our voice to make changes in healthcare. You know, what questions need to be asked in trials? How do we develop better practices to support families? And, you know, we have upcoming the Perinatal Society of Australia and New Zealand. Last year we had a symposium of, you know, how many are on that network now? I think about 8 of us.
Yeah. All
of us are mums. And I can tell you, we had Slido, so we had all the, you know, the health professionals in that symposium. All of the questions, or the majority of questions, were how do we involve dads more? How do we get dads into out like this space where it's not that peer-to-peer support side, it's more about using your experience to make those changes. So you can discuss, this is the information I needed, or this is the pathway that happened for us that didn't work, or needed more of this, or these are the questions in trial, like anything like that. How do we bring more dads into that space? Like, I think speaking to you is, I'm just curious on what are we doing and how can we can bring you in?
Yeah, I would happily be a part of it. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, like it starts by, I think, asking, you know, and I'm not too sure what the sort of the conversations are before that, but yeah, I don't know. Like, again, it's it's a sort of, where do you start? But first I would start with, do you want to be involved? Because I find, especially with the support group, I could pick the guys that were there purely because their partners wanted them there. You know, they weren't there by choice, and it's a hell of a lot harder to extract information and create positive change if someone's not willing to be an open book and want to help themselves first and foremost. So it's yeah, I don't know, I kind of feel like I went around the question, but it's a hard one. I would start by asking, you know,
do you have any thoughts on that, Nat, with all the stuff that you're doing?
No, I think like Chris and you were saying, there's a real, what I've noticed definitely in the last 2 years is a real kind of desire to understand how can we support, you know, dads better in the, you know, early pregnancy stage and also in the NICU space and afterwards, like just something I really noticed. And yeah, where do you start? No idea, but it's definitely something that people are really kind of passionate about or directing their attention. And
there's a lot of call out for it. Yeah, I think men, I don't know, if I use my husband, for example, he's like, if I talk about it, I'm like, we're looking for male perspectives, and he's like, but you do that, Emma. So it's always the female that takes the lead and gets involved around. But equally, I know he went through a lot at the same time. We were going through it together, but in different ways. But I think, again, the onus kind of, I think he wants to be involved, but not sure how and where he sees it. So it's a very interesting conundrum as to, we really do want, you know, men to come and share views from their perspective and not just from the mums.
I think ultimately, guys are very simple in this is a bit of a generalization, but guys are very simple in their needs. For me, for example, I wanted Liam safe, I wanted Beth safe. That's all I cared. Ultimately, that's all I cared about. And talking like prolonged stays in NICUs, I think probably simplifying questions, and I think having someone there that's able to translate the doctor talk would be a massive benefit. And I'm like, for me, I'm a body language sort of watcher, and if say, for example, you've got a doctor, you're talking to a doctor with no bedside manner, I'm thinking about what a dick they are, as opposed to what information they're relaying, and like the language and everything like that they're using. So I don't know. I think
it's kind of like that concept of continuity of care. You know, when you have like the same midwife throughout your whole, like your pregnancy, antenatally, and, you know, follows you on that journey. So it might not be the doctor, but it might be someone else from the team, that they're also there with you when things get rough.
Well, I guess for so many families too, like there's the level of care is different for what we experienced in a metro area to what one of my mates experienced in regional Victoria, and it's just same thing, cord prolapse, just very different situations in terms of the level of care. And I know that that's a massive priority for doctors and, you know, midwives and hospital staff and everything like that. But I guess it comes down to funding again, which is generally
it's a huge problem across the country, consistency, and especially as you have avenues like this, or, you know, social media, where people and groups that people can be a part of and talk about their journey and realize there's so much inconsistency across states, across, you know, health districts and things like that. And I think the health system, they're aware of it, and there's so much collaboration that goes on between the units and the doctors. Like it's from the time we've gotten to spend, it's fascinating, it's inspiring. Like it does warm your heart that they do want to do better. But you're right. There's limitations with resources, fundings, and things like that. But it's definitely an issue that is happening, and there's some awareness around it. But it doesn't make it easier when you're going through it. Not in any way.
Yeah. Especially like from a time factor point of view as well. Like things take so long to get approved and put into motion. I was at a conference. I was on a parent panel towards the end of last year, and I stayed and I listened and I tried to absorb as much of what was being said as I could. And to be honest, I just left this conference super flat, thinking, "Fuck, I don't know if I'm going to see any change in my lifetime." But that's how I felt at the time. But I sort of came around. I know people are doing their best, but yeah, it's just sort of.
What is that change? Like, use this as your opportunity.
Yeah.
What like you're sharing your story, beautiful legacy that you're working with. I always think, doesn't matter the journey, like we conspire with these babies. So Liam's conspiring with you to leave some kind of mark, to make some kind of difference. What is that for you? Like, what keeps you here? What made you contact us? What do you want people to know?
I feel I'm not afraid to say what I feel and what I think, and in talking to a lot of other people and dads in particular, they felt the same, and I think it's wrong, and I'm not afraid to speak up, and I feel that it's my duty to my son to keep fighting. He fought his whole life, and his whole existence was one battle and one hurdle after another. I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing the same and trying to create positive change.
What does that look like? What does that look like? What's that fight?
Well, it changes from time to time. Like, it really depends what's going on. I've got a few things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about helping newly bereaved parents and helping them navigate that first 6 months, because it's a nightmare as it is. And if you don't have decent support networks around, then like it's you're on a very quick downward spiral. And helping, my other passion area is helping bereaved dads, because I've experienced firsthand the flaws in the system, and I don't want that to happen to future families and future dads. And I was thinking about this the other night. Like, we've got 5 new guys in the team this year, and that's 5 husbands, that's 5 fathers, that's 5 employees or employers. That's 5 people within society. It's a snowball effect, and if I can do my bit to help them and create a space where they feel seen and heard, then that can roll on. So yeah, that's
what are a couple of those flaws that you see?
The aftercare, the resources in general. But as I said, it's not so black and white. Guys have to be willing to make an effort to put themselves out there and seek help.
But do you think it would have helped when you left hospital that there was resources and avenues for you to contact outside of just, you can talk to this person, if you had resources, say it's Red Nose, or that you have a contact list and there's a follow-up from post hospital for a period of time to make sure and check in and, you know, support mental health, support bereavement? Do you think that would be a benefit to, you know, fathers in that scenario?
Oh, definitely. And as I said, the hospital at the start, hospital to home was a game changer for me, because it was our support, our peer supporter helped us navigate those conversations with Medicare and, you know, birth deaths and marriages and everything like that. And in my situation, I was back at work after 3 weeks, and
Oh my goodness.
you know, like I was self-employed and had no other financial means, but you know, you have parents, like situations where two parents have gone back to work with babies in NICU and everything like that. It's like, it's, without being too rude and too blunt, it's pretty effed when that's happening.
I know we've been part of trying to advocate for extended parental leave and things like that when babies are in the NICU, that you can stretch those weeks out, because sometimes you use it all up while the baby's in care, and it's not good enough. Like you can't ask parents to be able to cope like that.
Yeah, I was part of that petition. There was one, a Miracle Babies one in 2023, maybe.
Yeah.
I was part of it, and I'd started one up here as well, asking for the same sort of maternity leave, paid parental leave to extend for the partner and for the dad and non-birthing partner as well. And that kind of it's too long. Unfortunately, it's too long a process for me to withstand at the time, but I just couldn't bring myself to closing the petition, because I felt like I was letting people down that had signed it and that had shared their story with me. But I don't know.
Chris, I feel like I can feel the heaviness of you know, what you're trying to do and achieve, and feel like you're pushing through barriers, but I hope you know that you are making a difference. Like this is the work.
Thank
you know.
Yeah, I definitely do.
You do. That's good.
But I'm all right. You know, I'm more than happy to take on that fight. And because I keep saying, I feel like I owe it to my son and to my wife and to other families that don't feel like they have a voice, or that they I don't think courage is the right word, but like they don't have the ability to fire up. I guess it's the easiest way of putting it for me.
And one of the, you know, I don't know what the word is, like unrealized, I guess, consequence that I found by wanting to do peer-to-peer support or making a difference is that there was that wave back of healing. There's something where you can think there needed to be a reason why I went through this. There needs to be a purpose to, say, for example, Liam's life. So when you're paying it forward and you're giving and you're trying to help others, it does return to you in a form of healing and an acknowledgement of, you know, his existence and that, you know, everything that you've gone through matters. So
and that's I definitely feel that. And when you know, when using the touch team as an example, when some of the guys' partners are messaging me separately saying, you know, I can feel a lightness in you know, X person, that just it fills me with joy. Because it's that 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in the right direction. And you can't help everyone, but if I can help however many people that is, then there's the opportunity for that to roll on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
A lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, is there anything else that you want us to know and to share with anybody listening?
Not really. Like, I just, I want to say that I appreciate the work that you all do, and I also want to acknowledge that, and I'm sure people are aware of it, but not everyone leaves a NICU with their baby. And if I can help the families in particular that have had neonatal deaths similar to us, then it makes me proud if I can do that. So I just want to acknowledge that, because to be honest, it wasn't until probably 2 hours before Liam died that actually comprehended in my mind that we weren't going to leave without him, that we were going to leave without him, and that we were going to have to leave him at the morgue. And that's pretty pretty full on.
We're so sorry for what you've gone through. It's just...
I appreciate it. It's so strange too. I feel like it's just luck. Like, it's just, sometimes it's just bad luck. There was no real explanation. We've had 5 losses in total, and there's never been a clear-cut explanation. It's just shit luck. And we've done everything that we could, but to bring a baby home, but it's just the luck. What do you do? Some people have good luck, others have bad luck. Thank you for your time, though.
No, this has been amazing.
And you say, you're everything that you're doing to support others, and helping to support and guide people through is amazing. It's there's not too many people that would do that, and I think bringing people together, particularly men are not very good at connecting and sharing. And I think what you've done and what you'll continue to do is amazing to help men deal with bereavement.
I definitely think that's slowly starting to change, but slow motion's better than no motion.
Absolutely.
But I knew that we'd definitely love to keep working with you and working through ideas on how to keep bringing the dad's voice into this space.
More than happy to be a part of it. I love this stuff, and if I can contribute in any way. We've all got different experiences in NICUs, but I think ultimately I'm just a simple cat, and my requests aren't too extreme, and I feel like there's probably a lot of other guys that are exactly like that.
Well, Chris, how do people find you? How do other dads connect with you? And if they're local and Queensland dads and want to join your footy teams, how does that happen?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn,
We'll pop it all in the show notes.
All nice and simple. We've got just send me a message or email. My Red Nose email is chriswood@rednose.org.au. Sorry, I had to think about that.
I can reach out to you. No, that's fantastic. Now, I
just want to help people, and thank you all for the opportunity.
And thank you for sharing your story. It's not an easy thing to talk about. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking through.
No worries, not a problem at all.
Your commitment, because you keep going, and it's a hard and it can be a long struggle. So thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
That's a wrap on another episode of the NICU Live Network. Thanks for joining us today. To stay connected, please make sure you're following us on social media.
And if you found value in this episode, please share, like, or comment.
We'll see you on the next episode.